But we're going to get ready to go in and just spoil all this. We're also going to have some controversial topics we don't normally cover, but it's so light that it's more of the idea. It's a conversation I want to have of, like I said, like Caleb and I were talking about, like, there's people that really love this movie, and there's people that really hate this movie. And the people that really love this movie, a lot of the times that they are, and I'm not saying this is you, Caleb, I'm just saying I see a lot of praise because it's bold and daring and they love this and that and yada yada, and it fits certain things. So they're like, I love this movie. And the people that hate this movie are like, oh my God, it fits certain things and it's this, that, and the other thing, and it's so terrible, it's so woke and yada yada. Like, it's something where it's something that wasn't in your face controversial has just gotten out of control on everything I ever see. On stuff I've even gone in and said, like, I liked it, middle of the road, not bad, not great. And people are just like, and they just like come out attacking me. Like, I'm like, whoa, dudes, easy there. Like, easy. I'm just saying it's okay. Deb says that she prefers Alien on that, but she'll see us next time. We'll see you later, Deb. I do love Alien, but I got to go Predator on.
Same.
That. I think overall, franchise-wise, I'd go Predator.
Yep.
But real quick, let's go ahead, and before we get into the weird topics, the controversial topics, Caleb, let's just go. Let me know what you like about the movie. If there's anything that you thought was a little meh or whatever, you just dive into it.
I do like the story. I like the characters. I like the more basic design of the Predator. I do like the nod of the Predator helmet being more of a Greek/Norse god type look. Kind of going back to the fact that maybe with Alien versus Predator ideals, like maybe they helped us build our societies the way we see them today, but not necessarily taking Alien versus Predator into account. But if you look at his mask, I can't remember the name of the god, the deity, but the Predator's mask really resembles that. You can also see it in a movie called The Ritual. Yeah, The Ritual. I heard that throughout horror movies lately. But I really enjoyed that. The only thing that was really for me was some of the CG, and I get it. It was made for a streaming platform. It wasn't made for big theaters. I mean, honestly, even movies that get released into big theaters, once you get them home, the CG doesn't necessarily hold up. Right. Cough, cough, Marvel. But it looked pretty good. I liked the dialogue. I enjoyed the dog. The dog was awesome. And it was interesting to see the Predator actually like take on what came in his path that looked like it could hunt. It wasn't just humans. So he wasn't just, it was the first time a Predator had come to Earth, and he's looking for anything that is another Predator. He takes out a coyote, he takes out a snake, a bear. Like, that's awesome.
Right.
The characterization.
I love it. He just like just lifts the bear over his head and the blood's coming down on him. Really cool. And the shot where she's like under the brush and just like it's a really good shot right there. The CGI is terrible, I will admit that, but the cinematography, other than that, like the wide shots and stuff like that, I thought it was pretty good on my TV. It was pretty good. But let's see, Paul, we will be doing, hopefully, unless anything comes down the pipe, we will be doing Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2 next week. Jabari says, I see a woman in the lead. It's woke. They don't even know what woke means. The word's been whitewashed. Yeah. Woke is Tyler Durden Killmonger.
Tyler Durden or Killmonger. I have to say, what's funny about that, if you tell a guy who, I'm fitting some stereotypes here, that Tyler Durden is woke, they're going to give you 150 reasons why he isn't. But he is. he's anti-establishment. His character is anti-materialism. His character is anti-being what we are. That, by definition, ta-da, having a female lead Predator movie is not insanity. It's not woke. It's just a new character.
All right, well, hang on. We'll get into that. We'll deep dive into that here in just a second. But just real quick, just keep going with your thoughts on you saying the look up to the hunting is awesome.
Yeah, the hunting was really cool. One thing that I really like about this movie is they used a Native American cast. They didn't use a bunch of white guys that they airbrushed their skin darker to fit what they wanted. They used a Native American cast. They filmed it in Comanche as well, so it's the first feature-length film that can be viewed entirely in a native language. That's awesome.
From what I understand, they really wanted
it sucks that it took till 2022 to do that, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it blah, blah, blah. It does seem like they from what I understood, they wanted it to be completely in Comanche, and then the studio made them do it in English, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I think it would have been better in Comanche.
Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, well, you don't want to get into like the French dudes or like the fight scenes or.
I mean, I think they were well choreographed. I was just doing a basic. I didn't know how far we wanted to go.
Well, no, let's just go into like Did you like the like once the French dudes show up with their muskets and stuff like that, like, you know, and you get the shield.
I thought it was going to go a completely different direction that I was hoping for. I was hoping we were going to get her as the human predator because of them showing up. That would have been the coolest thing ever. We didn't. The way that they were used as bait when they realized, oh, the predator doesn't want to hunt bait. He doesn't care about bait. He cares about what's taking the bait. That was cool, watching like humans figure that out. Using the flowers to cool off your body temperature to kind of trick the predator, and the fact that he reacted that quick when he stepped on the dude who popped up after he was just giving those flowers, that was cool. I don't care. That was.
I love when he hobbles in though with no leg. You're like, dude, you're gonna die. Like I cannot save you. Like you're done.
Yeah,
you lost a leg.
You see those characters for what, like, they came in, they skinned all those buffalo and just kind of left them. They didn't really care. They didn't really, and that was completely against the culture of what was happening there, where it's like if you kill something, you're going to find a use for everything that you have. And that was just killing to kill and have a good time. And it just showed the clash of those cultures. And then the way that those characters, they showed up and they sucked. Like, you didn't feel for a single one of them. And honestly, I'm glad. Like,
except for the translator had a little bit.
Nah.
I'm just saying a little bit. Like, he wasn't full on like Snaggletooth, like I'm gonna cut her in half. Like, you know, he just seemed like a guy that was at least, hey, let's keep her alive. She's okay. Like, we need to figure out blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm with you for the most part. Yeah.
Like, it kind of fits. Like, it works. Checks out. I love the nod to Predator 2, and I hope that this film gets sequeled so we get to see that continue to pass down the ranks. I honestly am impressed with the fight scenes and the choreography. With my personal favorite scene is when the brother is fighting the Predator, and he hands the Predator his ass in that scene, and it's awesome. It's so well done. I like, for a made for streaming service movie, it is just ridiculous. I can't say enough good things about that. I don't know, if I keep going, I'm just gonna blurt out all the positives.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to turn it over.
You know, so so this is not a movie that's dialogue heavy. The characters are very, for the most part, one dimensional. She wants to be a hunter. It's like taking your little sister along. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to take their little sister along. Like, get out of here. You're not cool enough to hang out with the cool kids. You can't do it. She has to prove herself. She ends up she can do it. You know, the scene with her in the tree with the mountain lion was kind of cool. Bad CGI, but just like the setting and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, dude that's supposed to be a BA just gets dragged off. Let's see. Hang on. Yeah, the only negative is CGI. Yeah, it's pretty, like, everybody across the board can say bad CGI. I definitely agree. And at least everybody can agree with that. But you know, then they carry on with that a little bit. She gets taken back. She talks to her mom. She goes back after them because she sees the footprint. Yada yada. They get going. I got to be honest. I really got it by about the like right before the bear shows up when she like goes off on her own. I was like, okay. I was getting kind of bored. We need to get going with this, just because, like I said, there's not a whole lot of dialogue, and there's not a whole lot happening. And then like the dialogue they do have felt a little too modern hip, like the way he kind of moves and like delivers it, like he's kind of sassy. I guess maybe I'm just too used to like Dances with Wolves and like Little Big Man and movies like that where they're very stoic and you know, very, you know, proud and proper kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt a little, but like you said, I don't know if these are veteran actors or not. I don't know. You know, Native American actors, I don't know how many's in the, you know, Actors Guild or whatever. It doesn't kill the movie. It was just one of those where it kind of pulled me out of the scene and I was back in. Once the Predator got there, though, with the bear and stuff like that, the bear was kind of horrible CGI. And I thought it was kind of stupid that she would go after this, like, she's looking for something else, but here's this bear, and I'm going to take my little bow and arrow by myself. And I don't know how Native American bows were 200 plus years ago, 300 years ago, whatever it is, like, or 200, I don't know. But, like, shooting a bear seems kind of silly on your own with your doggy next to you. I mean, 110 pounds, whatever, with a bow, I just don't buy it. Earlier with the hatchet, she's trying to hunt down a deer or an elk or whatever it was. It's like, really? You're going to, from like 20 feet, you're going to just try to chuck that thing and take it down by yourself? Okay, like, I hated. Talk about ripping me out of the movie. The CGI did it. The weird little, like I said, hip dialogue kind of ripped me out of the movie. But the stupid, like, Catwoman hatchet to the tree, she's like 10 to 20 feet away and just yanks it right back at her and just catches it perfectly. Like she's ninjutsu master, Native American, hidden smoke. No, like, it doesn't work the way. As a kid that grew up throwing knives and hatchets, it's like, that thing would come back like 4 feet and like land not even close to your feet. Like, it just seemed like they were over trying to make her a BA. Like, the bear is coming at her. It's like 40, 50 feet away, and she fires as it turns just enough to get it in the side. I was like, okay, guys, like, maybe people were just stronger back in the day. Like, but I was like, like, dude, come on, man. Don't tell me you're not.
I've got to say, I want you to contextualize your argument. This is a movie about a fictional alien coming to Earth to hunt a fictional human.
Dude, no, I know that, but like, if Arnold or anybody else would do that, I would point that out too. We talk about stupid stuff all the time. They're like, that is so dumb. Physics don't work that way.
Yes, but it's much scaled back. So if you look at the original Predator, half of the crap in that we just kind of forgive because it's an 80s action movie. But if you release it today and they don't give you an explanation for it, we just, oh no, we can't accept it. I'm not saying that's what you're on, but that's like, as the comments that I see, that's like, they're like, I've seen comments like, oh, you know, the first Predator, they were a bunch of trained BAs and all this. It's like, realize this is a fictional, this is fictional world of fictional characters put up against fictional alien that fictionally wants to hunt and trophy kill things. Okay.
But but in Predators, in the franchise, it always comes down to a physical confrontation. Now, it is all about outsmarting the Predator and kind of turning the tables where it's like they figure out how to be invisible and they figure out how to hurt it. And they hurt it along the way. That's always how it goes, and that's fine. But like, I was like, okay, we're like, when you watched it in the first Predator movie, other movies kind of go wonky a little bit too, but in the first Predator movie, most of those dudes, like 80% of those dudes are jacked out of their mind. Like they take their shirts off and they're like pulling the trees down and setting the traps. So like when you see Arnold is the last man standing and he's he's Mr. Olympian and he gets just his butt handed to him when he tries to go hand to hand with the Predator. You know that this movie, for the most part, because it has very limited characters, you got the brother and the other turds that are, you know, also in the tribe, and then you got her. Like, you know, it's going to come down to only a couple. Like, so that it's just one of those things where I was like, oh man, like we're real. And then you got him with the bear over. I was like, oh, we're really just going all over the place with strength and physicality and physics. I was like, hey, let's go. We are pulling down the movie to go back to basics. Don't get crazy with it. And that was for me. I was just like, come on, guys. Like, come on. In no way, shape, or form does that work.
That wasn't crazy to me. That was making a character that had some cool traits. Like
you can't do that.
We just accept that Batman can do half the crap he does because he's Batman. Like that, it doesn't make sense. We can't hold so many characters differently accountable when they're all fictional. Like, do I think that in a real world this fight is fair? Absolutely not. Do I think that in real life humans would win against these predators? 9 times out of 10, no.
Right.
But that's the thing. Like, most of the Predator films get to the point that a human can beat a predator when they start using nature around them, fighting in more primitive ways, and getting rid of their technology. 9 times out of 10, that's what solves the fight between a human and a predator. So I don't. It doesn't throw me at all. That's all.
That's great. I mean, I'll forgive the bow and arrow because it's a bow and arrow. You shoot the arrow, it goes places. But the really thing was the hatchet, which is not a make or break thing. It's really not. But I was really worried that we were going to start getting kind of weird with the physics. It's just, you could remove that scene. The movie's absolutely the same for the most part. Really, it's just trying to show that she is capable of using her surroundings and being, having some ingenuity with stuff. It's fine. Let's move on. Get out of here. Nobody can do that from 20 feet. It's impossible. Anyway, moving on. We get to the French dudes, which were horrible. We're meant to not like them. They're cannon fodder. Okay, cool. I like the shot with the Predator in the middle of all the mists, and he's like surrounded, and he starts like throwing up devices. Kind of reminds me of the Wolf Predator from AVPR. Right, and then like you said, when she figures out the cold trick, gives it to the guy missing the leg. She takes the pistol. He teaches her how to use it, and then like he steps on him and just kills him right there. Very well done. I do like with the wolf and stuff like that. I do like that stuff. But the fight with the 2 guys in the Predator, the 2 Native Americans in the Predator, it was kind of cool how it kind of felt a little bit like I don't know, like Avatar a little bit, like how they were like ducking and the war cry and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. I like the scene where she's running through the field and like he's running behind her and she gets like through the woods and then the person behind her just gets shredded. And then she hits the bear trap and he's like, well, I guess this is no longer any fun, so I'll just keep going on with my day. But the final fight scene, it works because like by that time, like you said, the fight scene between the brother and him is a good fight scene. He wounds him quite a bit with like through the arm and like all that stuff, and then she shoots him in the back of the head, so it's disorientated and all messed up. She's kind of invisible, even though he's got the shtick now. The only part, once again, that I would have removed, because we are talking about physicality. And this happens all the time, right? It really does. But when he grabs her and slams her to the ground, I was just thinking, in a lot of movies, like once the killer, like Jason and stuff like that, they usually grab the person and throw them instead of just crushing them right then and there. But this predator was out to kill her, and when he gets a hold of her and slams her to the ground, I was just thinking, like, if I picked up my son and slammed him to the ground like that, I'd kill him. And I'm not superhuman. I don't have superhuman strength, and I'm not, you know what I'm saying, though? Like, this dude, like, the predator lifted a bear. Like, if it grabs a hold of her, she's dead. Unless he wanted to keep her alive for whatever reason as a trophy, or like to stretch out it or whatever. But I mean, once again, that's not breaking it. It's just one of those things where it is kind of starting to compound on, like, how invincible is this predator? How much did the damage actually happen? I do buy that he doesn't know where his laser is going because he's disorientated. That's what gets him. I get that. She did seem a little bit like war cry again, ninja, like jumping off the rock, but it was okay until he got a hold of her, and then I thought, okay, I really do think she'd probably be dead as soon as he got a hold of her. I just wish that would have never happened. Like, maybe she would have just got backhanded, you know what I mean, or something like that. But overall, like I said, I think this is a solid movie. Could have just used a little bit of tightening, and it would have been probably, I'd probably give it a 7. You know what I mean? But with a little bit of tightening, I think, just kind of, take it back to like old westerns. Take it back to just, dumbing it down, and then get crazy with the predator, but don't get too crazy with humans. Like, still kind of try to keep stuff in the realm of reality when it comes to physics with human beings. Like, but I give it a solid 7. But I do think with a little bit of tightening, it could have been an 8. Where, I mean, not saying that coming off of the first movie, which is a 10, and the only 10 I would give in the entire franchise. So a 7 really isn't that bad, but I'd only give one a 10, and I don't, everything else is maybe getting maybe a 9. Everything else is hovering in the 8 to 9, and then, there's a couple below, Prey. So I'm not trying to bash it. I'm just saying, like, the movie isn't a masterpiece like some people are calling it. But I do like the movie. I do. There are some parts where certain things kind of ripped me out of the movie, but I'm kind of wanting it to get into the controversial stuff now because of all this crap I've been seeing. But hang on real quick. All I know is there's a movie where they tried to make us believe, let's see. Sorry, I can't read that. Can you read that, Caleb? I can't quite see it.
Nanites to be in her bloodstream and can go bulletproof and run around like they're on PCP, talking about Dark Fate. But a girl can't throw a hatchet. Not to mention, autism is the next step in evolution, but a girl can't throw a hatchet. Yeah, dude, it's... The internet has exploded.
It's that she can marksman throw the hatchet and retrieve it 20 feet away. It's the rope that kills me. It's not that she can throw a hatchet 20 feet. It's that she can retrieve it from 20 feet instantly in her hand, like Captain America or Mjolnir. Like, that's what kills it, not the hatchet throwing.
Maybe her bloodline leads to Batman. You don't know.
I don't.
But the internet has exploded with stupidity from this. And my favorite comparison is actually talking about, there's this guy who made a meme about, and it's got a photo of all the dudes from the first Predator, and it's like, you're telling me all of these trained armsmen can't go up against one Predator, but she can, and it shows a picture of her. And it really is missing the point of the Predator films. They couldn't go up against them. And that Predator had far more tech than this Predator does. Right. This Predator is a much more basic, although still very deadly for the time, still much more basic. He doesn't have a shoulder cannon. He doesn't seem to have all of the gadgets and doodads. He's got some cool stuff. Now,
question for you, Caleb. Do you think I subscribe to the theory that this Predator chose his weapons, that he might have better weapons available, but like he's using weapons that are kind of in line with what we have. The shield, like think of it as like an arrow that you can get and reuse. You know what I mean? I feel like he chose those kind of weapons, and that, you know, he put himself near the Comanches because they were great warriors, kind of the same thing, like putting himself in like what you would think of as a hostile, you know, you're going to get a hunt. I don't know.
Personally, I think because it was his first time, the first Predator trip to Earth, he probably brought the best he could just in case.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know that he was going to walk away from it. That they didn't know much about the planet, and they just happened to land where they landed.
Yeah. Could go either way, but yeah.
That's kind of what I see it as. But it just it's getting annoying seeing people get so mad at the fact that a female lead in an action movie or action adventure, I would venture to push this one strictly towards action adventure, the way it plays out. And they're mad because it's not a big bulking white guy. It's a female lead who is kicking arse, and that bugs me. It bugs me to no end. Like, why can't that work? Well, no, it did work.
Now let me say also on the some of the reasons why I dropped the movie down a little bit, I forgot to mention, is just that we have seen this movie before. It does make me think of Pocahontas, Mulan. Like it does. It's like that movie, and then boom, you threw in. This was a very safe Predator movie. Doesn't take anything away from it, but it's like we talked about, and Caleb does not subscribe to this, but like when we watch Joker, you kind of seen it before. This is just done a different way. This has also been done before, just done a different way. And now that either hits for you or it doesn't. I'm not trying to take a whole lot from the movie, but it's just another reason why the movie didn't excite me as much until the Predator showed up. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like we've just seen that character that's going against all that and like the social norms of blah blah blah. Like we you know, it's fine. I just was like, I want to see Predator because that's what I'm here for. Some of that's my fault. True story. I'm just saying that's part of it. But
we all want to see the Predator. Like that was and another thing I gotta say is this movie was beautiful.
Yeah.
The land, the atmosphere, the shots, they were amazing. Like, I don't think any of the Predator films have been that beautiful. I think that the coolest scene before was in the first film with the waterfall. That was it.
I think you're right. I mean, this arguably is, I mean, this is probably arguably like just story, how it's shot, like all that, it's probably easily like objectively the second best in the entire franchise, right? I mean, and it's not my second favorite. I'm just saying objectively it's probably the second best. I can completely understand that. And you know, really there's nothing too egregious to where I just don't understand why anybody would hate it. But like on like what you're saying, let's play the devil's advocate here. Let's go on this side. We're like I hear what you're saying, man. Like where I just don't like. There's simplicity. Like when I hate memes that go extreme to prove your point. Like with the muscle-bound dudes, it's like, oh, like these guys couldn't, but this little girl can. Okay, guys, it's not the same thing here. There's like a paragraph's worth of crap why you're wrong to post that meme. And if you don't know any better, it's probably not worth your time to do it. On the flip side of that, people were trying to like everybody's freaking out about this girl killing a predator, but did you forget about Ripley killing an alien? And did you forget about Sarah Connor crushing the Terminator? I was like, okay, guys, like once again, like I get what you're saying. I'm in your side, but oversimplifying this is stupid. Like Ripley is a final girl by default at the end of the movie, and she gets lucky in a situational thing and kills an alien. She doesn't develop into a BA until like the very end of that movie and into the second movie when she's lost everything and she has to become what she becomes. Sarah Connor is nothing in the first movie. You know, she's developing, she's becoming tougher as Kyle's telling her all this stuff, and Kyle's inspiring her and showing her love and all this stuff. But Kyle does 98% of the work. He blows up the Terminator twice. So I understand what you're saying, but it's not that simple. It's just not. Another meme came out and said that like it had Arnold up here, and it said Predator versus white guy, and it's got a white guy over here, and it's like, and then it's got Predator versus Native American girl, and the white guy's like, great, they made it political. I understand what you're saying, and I'm in that. I get it. I get where you're coming from. But it's not the same thing. Arnold was Mr. Olympian. He is the biggest action movie star of all time, going up against a supernatural predator. He's not just some white guy. Stop oversimplifying it.
It was also I think, I'm not trying to defend memes for the love of God, but I think that meme is a counter to the meme that I found that was like, you're telling me these guys didn't survive, and
but can we agree that both sides are dumb? Both memes are dumb.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
The thing is, with if you have a problem with a predator being dropped on land that wasn't taken over by Europeans yet, don't watch the movie. Just don't. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't care. You have nothing to offer the conversation with that. The film itself, if you don't like it because the dialogue's, like you said, the dialogue is very modern-esque. It's very, okay, I can work with that. That's a solid point. If you say that the CG just takes you out of the movie, yeah, I get it. That's fine. But if you're saying that the movie is a monumental failure because the person who went up against the predator is a female of color, then you miss the whole point. That the predator, the second Predator movie is an African American man. Is Danny Glover. Right. That dude whoops some arse in that movie, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Right. Now going on the opposite side of that. So let's look at the negative side of this. Is there some validity? Now, let me now hang on, everybody, before you get upset, before you blow up all the comments, just hear me out. Just let me talk out loud. Don't get upset. Hear what I have to say first, and then you can get upset with me and say all sorts of mean things. But is the movie woke? Yes, it's woke because it is talking about a person having to deal with going outside these social norms. A woke is about talking about injustices, about racial prejudice, like holding people down. It is wake up to see that it's not okay. Now, granted, this is also at a time where like they wouldn't even care. They might not even let her come. Like she might not even have been allowed to do stuff like that. I have no idea. But the movie everybody hears woke and automatically assumes the nasty side of woke. They automatically think like what you were saying, that like, oh, all dudes are horrible. This movie's like blah blah blah. Women, they always assume that it's negative woke. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be negative woke. Like he was saying about Tyler Durden. I mean, there was bad things about how that movie ended up, like deconstruction of society and killing people and stuff like that. But as far as like decluttering your stuff so that way the things you own don't end up owning you, I say that as being surrounded by a lot of my property. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay for a movie to be woke if it works for the movie and doesn't backhand other stuff. It's okay. But if people are coming at it from a nasty side of woke, I completely understand how that would make people pissed off. Now, let's look at that for a quick second. The negative side of woke. Is there any validity to that? If you look at the movie, if you really want to look at it, and if you want to search, now, there's subliminal stuff, there's hidden messages and stuff, you know what I mean? Like there's hidden agendas and stuff like that. There really is. You know what I mean? Whether we know about it or not, who knows where the truth lies, right? Who knows in what movies it was written this way for a reason. Like in the new Halloween, are all the survivors and good characters ladies because there's an agenda, or is it just because dudes are stupid in general and they just wouldn't survive horror movies and it's always been that way? You could go whichever way you want. You really could. It's up to you. The movie's not really telling you. But if you look in the movie, like if you want to look at the negative side of woke, all the dudes are horrible to her. All the dudes. You can't do this. You're terrible. They get into a fight and punch her, and like another dude comes up behind her and sucker punches her too. Like all the dudes in the movie, including the brother, until the very end, is a douche. Like he takes credit of the kill. Like, and he only admits to it when he's on like his deathbed. You know what I mean? Like last right confessions don't really absolve you when you're gonna die and you're like looking for some mercy. You know what I mean? Like the French dudes are all horrible dudes, right? The main gal is nice. You like her, right? Like she has the most charisma, in my opinion, in the whole movie. The mom is very supportive, a very nice character. What other dudes in the movie have a speaking role that isn't a horrible human being? It doesn't really offend me, but if you want some, that does exist. If that pisses you off and you think it's woke, and the other part of it is that it pisses you off that the lady is the last one standing, and that's all that matters to you is sexes and genders and all that other crap, well, then the movie's negative woke. And is there a little bit of validity to that? Like, Disney owns this property. They put a female in the lead on purpose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the whole focus is about her going against the social norms. They knew this was going to be a backlash. They knew people were going to be talking about it and texting and memes and all this other crap. Like I said, I'm not like, it's the same thing of the movie. It's like I said, the movie's kind of like Pocahontas. It's kind of like Mulan, and it's Predator stuff we've already seen before, right? You could go that route, or you could go, the movie's real deep. Like she hunts, she's learning along the way, she's training, she has to work harder at everything else because nobody else will give her a chance. She has to rise above it because nobody else is going to help her. Like there's a little bit in the middle if you want. The movie, it seems like the movie kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. The movie is what kind of you want it to be. Like, just turn your brain off and watch the movie. It's just a movie. But if you want it to be a certain thing, I think you can get there. I really do think you can get there if you want to make it. You know what I'm saying? But I do think, like, people need to understand the movie is woke. It's just not, it's not angry woke, and it's not something people should get pissed off about. Like, and that's just my whole thing. I just wanted to talk about, like, there is some give and take in this. It's not like everybody over here is stupid, there's no validity. Everybody over here is stupid, there's no validity. I've listened to all of it. I've looked at all the talk. Like, you got to understand, if it doesn't offend you, then it doesn't offend you. If it does offend you, well, like, why does it offend you? Really? Like, is it really, is it that big of a deal? Are you searching for it? Is it really there? I don't know.
I think people are getting... So there was a recent discussion about Homelander from The Boys, that he was made as a mockery to super elitist right-wing people. Like the tippy top, like, you're not gonna, don't tread on me, everything, all that. Like that, he is a mockery of that subsect of people. And people are mad because they didn't realize it. But it was kind of on the nose. It's kind of like watching Family Guy and taking it seriously. Anyways, I think that because people don't know how to read characters, read into the film, they don't notice where a movie like this doesn't have anything to be mad about. They literally took a Predator and put a Predator in a timeline. That's it.
But like I said, this story is what kind of creates the spark of conversation. It's like, it's why people can come to the conclusions they did. Because I was asking my wife, I was like, do you think if Disney didn't own this property, if Fox still owned this property, do you think Disney would have sued them for, like I said, Pocahontas, like Mulan? Like, because there's like like it really feels like the similar stories, like the side character, the whole family, you can't do it, going out on your own and proving yourself. Like, and it's a story we've seen 1,000 times. I just felt like it felt very Disney safe, and I was like kind of like, would Disney get sued if another company would have made this movie? You know what I mean? Like, once again, it's fine. I think it's a good movie. I just there is a little bit of give and take with like, yeah, it's a good movie, but you know, there is some of this and there's some of that. And like, it's like a movie with anything, you know, there's some of this, there's some of that. Like, I don't know.
At the end of the day, all those stupid arguments are gonna die. Yeah, like it's getting to the point that every movie is gonna have a director, a writer, an actor, somebody. You're going to have your own personal bias in that film. Whether you lean left, you lean right, you stay in the middle, you go super far one way or the other, up, down, in between, whatever. It's going to be there.
Well, and I think, like I said, like I think controversy is really good marketing. Like, because it's just, you know, you don't even have to say anything controversial. Like, yeah, just putting a female's face on a Prey poster, and it's just like, boom, and you get everybody talking, and you get all the dummies out there, and then you get all the defenders, you know what I mean, and then you get just people talking about it, you know what I mean. Like, it's almost something where you kind of need something in there. Whether or not you capitalize it or, you know, really do anything with it's another thing. But I almost feel like, you know, almost making fun of like people for being like, oh my God, it's going to be so woke, and then it's not. You know what I mean? I almost feel like that's kind of good marketing, because you're gonna get all that talk.
At this point, I feel like the people who are pissed off are the same people who are mad that there's a female cast as Pinhead.
I'm all about that. I'm like 16 times, because we talked about this, man. Like, a female Pinhead is like freaky sexy, and that scares me twice as much. Like,
but it's back to the literature.
Yeah, well,
it's back to the book. Hell on Heart.
To be.
Yeah, it was meant to be a feminine-looking creature who was non-sexual. So it was hard to identify whether male or female, but more feminine. So, and Doug Bradley is pretty masculine in the films. Like, right. Let's just be honest.
Right, dude. No, I can't wait. Like, what is it called? Like, where the lady hurts the dude? Is it just domination, or is it? My bad. I'm not into pain because I'm a wuss. What is it called when the lady straps a man to a table and beats him up or whatever? Like, and it's supposed to be sexual? BDSM or something like that, baby. BDSM? Does that sound right? I don't know. Whatever it is, that stuff freaks me out, not from like a perverted way, just like I don't like pain. So when you put something like that and put a female Pinhead in there, hey, maybe I'm just being sexist, but it freaks me out twice as much. It just does. Like, I'm all about it. I can't wait to see female Pinhead. Let's do it. BDSM. Took me a minute.
Art is supposed to have something to say. If it angers you, you need to ask yourself why. 100% agreed.
Please stop with the stupid memes is all I've got to say. Actually do a little bit of digging. Have, like, if there are actual facts to your argument, bring it up. If it's just how you feel, well, then it doesn't stand up in court. Like,
sometimes I just want to tell somebody before they post it online, before they tell a friend, just say it out loud in a room alone and see how it sounds first, and then go from there. Like, and then if that still seems like a winning thought, one of two things: it either is, or you're a complete moron. Those are your options. That's it.
No, I don't want anything. I see Jabari in here, Dominatrix. No, I don't want anything violent, or like I don't even like scratches. Like, I'm a sensitive human being. I'm not a fighter. Like, I have very ticklish feet. I'm a sensitive man. Absolutely not. I have sensitive teeth. Like, I have to eat ice cream a certain way. And like, anyway, that's a whole weird thing. But anyway, hey man, I know this is a weird topic. I know we don't dive into like socio-political or like blah 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 crap or like controversial stuff, but this was something like, it was like we talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was like one of the first times we dived into anything controversial that wasn't like Sleepaway Camp, which wasn't really controversial. We were just trying to be very respectful. So it's just something where it's like, how are people so pissed off? Like, you know, I personally think it was a little heavy-handed. I think that it's owned by Disney, and there are some elements to that. But if you want to take that and run and it pisses you off, okay. Like, I see it, and I go, yeah, I would have done that differently. But it serves the story. It's pushing it forward. So I see both. But like, it should. Don't let it piss you off, guys. It's just a movie. Just don't watch it. And if they make another movie, don't pay for that one. Don't watch it either. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you. I know you don't like to talk about this stuff for the most part, and I know probably most people don't like to hear it. They've already heard it, but it's just something where it's just like, I was just trying to say, hey man, I like the movie. It's a solid 7. And then like, well, why didn't you like it? And I was just like, was it because it was a woman? I was like, guys, like, come on, you know. I can have an opinion that doesn't mean I'm a sexist jerk. Like I'm sorry. Like, you know, give me a break. Give me a break. You know what's also interesting? Last thing I'm going to say is that I didn't realize that the feral predator in this movie is supposed to be smaller than the jungle hunter predator in the first movie. I didn't realize that because, you know, when you get Arnold in there, Arnold's like 6'4", 6'5", and then you got the predator at 7'3". You know what I mean? You don't really understand that contrast, that difference. And then you got a gal who's, I don't know how tall she is, 5'2", 5'4", whatever. And then the predator is 6'9", but he's got, you know, a bigger head, right? That type of predator has a bigger head, you know, and he's a little, I don't know, the like less armor. He just looked a little bit more fit and slender. I didn't realize that. I thought that was actually originally, I thought that was the predator from Predators, the Berserker predators. But it's cool how they brought in another different type of predator. I know some people hate that. If that would piss them off, I kind of get that. You want the nostalgia of the original Predator, but to me, it was kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. I thought there's something I wanted to mention too that I thought was kind of cool. I forgot to talk about, but yeah. So anyway, guys, if you watched Jabbar, if you were in here the whole time, or if you watched it even just a little bit, everybody, we really, really appreciate it. Next week we will be back with Halloween, Rob Zombie 2007, and Halloween 2, 2009, Rob Zombie. And it's going to be a blast. No more Predator talk, no more controversial. Well, Rob Zombie controversial, but nothing like Angry Today controversial. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. We're out here.